tribulations, my heart, my balls, my somebody stop me, somebody come and get me. Little did I know that the Lord was riding with me. The law, the light, my heart, the fight, the wrong, the right is gone.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another JVS movie review. Today, we are bringing you one of the most anticipated films of 2022. One of the original, and we call it original at this point, one of the original summer blockbusters. The sequel to it. A movie that's been delayed for almost 2 years, and we are talking about Top Gun Maverick. Now, here's the quick synopsis. After more than 30 years of service as the Navy's top aviator, Pete Maverick Mitchell is where he belongs, pushing the envelope as a courageous test pilot and dodging the advancement in rank that would ground him. Now, forced to train a group of graduates from the Top Gun program for a special assignment, Maverick must confront the ghost of his past and his deepest fears. That's a heck of a synopsis for this movie. And this one stars, of course, Tom Cruise, Miles Teller, Jennifer Connelly, John Hamm, and this is directed by Joseph Kosinski. And I want to say this is the second time he's worked with Tom Cruise. The first one was one of the most underrated sci-fi films I've seen in the last 20 years, and that was Oblivion with Tom Cruise. It's very underrated, very good if you haven't checked it out. But let's get into Top Gun, and the first impressions of it is this is an amazing movie. On every level, this is an amazing movie. This is what we believe summer blockbusters should be. It has everything humanly possible that you can want in a summer blockbuster. It is thrilling. It is action-packed. It has emotional beats. It has comedic beats. It works on so many levels. It gives you just enough nostalgia, but not too much of it. It doesn't go over the top like, say, Ghostbusters Afterlife, which went way too heavy on nostalgia. This one reminded me closer to Live Free and Die Hard, where it gave you just enough nostalgia of the character, will give you a completely different story to grip your teeth into and enjoy. It's a very simple story here. As we open up the movie, we see Maverick in a very familiar place of him just being a test pilot. But first off, the point they open up the movie with Danger Zone as a song, great decision to do. But as we get to the point of Maverick being a test pilot and him again doing what Maverick does, which is just disobeying any direct order he can humanly possibly can, and we get the return of Ed Harris in this scene with Maverick. And right after that, he gets put on a special assignment to train this new recruit of Top Guns for a special mission. Here's where we get the meat and the teeth of this story. At this point, we are introduced to Rooster, who is played by Miles Teller, who happens to be Goose's son. So we get a quick introduction to him, but we also get to meet Penny. Now, anyone who remembers the first movie, this character Penny was mentioned in the first movie as someone who Maverick had a fling with, but we never saw them. So the point that they decided to put this as the female lead, romantic lead in the film, and have it played by Jennifer Connelly, who's amazing on every level in this film, but she's amazing in most films she does. But here we get to, along with the action set pieces, we get to get a realistic, older romance, and it really works here. One thing about Tom Cruise is that he's great at interjecting these amazing relationships in his films, and it works in spades here. Along with the conflict of him training these new pilots, one who particularly will always stick out is Glenn Powell. I think Glenn Powell, who plays Hangman in this film. He is the epitome of the jerk pilot that you kind of need to balance everything out. Granted, I know people had fears because with that character, what we knew going into this film, what that character could possibly be, and then us having Goose's son in the film, we kind of wondered would they play off that same dynamic of like Maverick and Iceman, and they don't. They played a completely different way, just about Maverick training these up, and these training assignments that he puts them on are great. They stick out so much. This is the bulk of the action, the bulk of the thrilling moments. It's just them training to succeed in this mission, and it works so well. You get the team up moment where everybody's shirtless playing football. You get everything you wanted to get out of Top Gun film in that type of moment. And it's because Joseph Kosinski shoots this film so well, and he paces it perfectly. Because this is something that you could have ran through in an hour and 30 minutes, or you could have overdone it and did 2 hours and 40 minutes of it. Instead, you get that comfortable hour and 45, hour and 50-minute film that's paced perfectly and never sticks around too long to make you overly notice plot holes. And that's the key part in these type of action movies, that you don't want it to stick around too long, where you recognize the plot holes and where it takes away the enjoyment of the film. You never get that enjoyment taken away from you here. And then we get an incredible cameo by Kilmer in this movie. I'm not going to spoil anything about his cameo, but it's great. It's great on so many levels, and it adds so much dimension to Maverick's character, and it adds such an emotional weight to the film that it works perfectly. So going into this film, you're just going to get Top Gun, but better. Because to me, this is, and I had to think about it for a while, and I had to watch the original again to make sure of it. This film may be better than the original Top Gun. As a film, it may be better. I don't know if it's going to have the cultural impact that the original Top Gun had, but as a film, this one may be better. Again, this is Tom Cruise at his best. We're seeing this man who, for some odd reason, refuses to age, do things that are just amazing on film. And when you get the backstory of him making the actors learn how to fly planes because they wanted to shoot the cockpit in a certain way, all of that pays off in spades in this film. It is parts of this film you cannot tell if it's CGI or practical effect. And as I was in the theater watching this, and on the IMAX screen, which I suggest everybody watch this on IMAX, my goodness, it will blow your mind. But you're stuck wondering, like, okay, are they really flying planes? Like, are they really doing all this stuff? They do a great job at shooting those action set pieces, and it's paced perfectly, which is a staple of Jerry Bruckheimer, who, again, him and Don Simpson were the original producers of the first film, and Jerry's the producer of this film, and it has all the staples of what makes a great Jerry Bruckheimer produced film in it, with great action, a nice plot that just wraps everything up the way it needs to be wrapped up, while again touching on the nostalgic element of it, but never overplaying itself, never taking itself too seriously. You're gonna have fun with this movie, and if you don't have fun with this movie, you don't like to have fun at the movies. This is a very, very fun film. I can't rave enough about how good this film is. This is possibly the best film I've seen this year, and that's saying a lot from the films that I've seen this year. That I think Top Gun Maverick, which I came in with very low expectations on what this film could be, and once you get past the first 30 minutes, you're going to be hooked. Again, action set pieces are amazing. The score is great. The cinematography, great. What sticks out the most is Tom Cruise and Jennifer Connelly's chemistry in this film. It is off the charts. It works in spades. And then all the younger pilots that we get to meet. I did like that they took just enough time to show you just enough of them to make you care. And that's the key part, because they could have been just faceless pilots in the background, and they decided not to go necessarily that route, especially with one of them being Goose's son. But amazingly, he got just as much screen time as Hangman or Payback or any of the other pilots. And that's what makes this film work, is that it pays homage to the original, while at the same time in every scene shot it tries to supersede the original. And it's nothing but an enjoyment left for the audience because of that. So, Top Gun Maverick, only in theaters. Amazingly great summer blockbuster that you can only catch in theaters. Out of a possible 10, I'm going to give Top Gun Maverick a 9.5 out of 10. This is the movie you need to see of the year. This is so far the movie you need to see of the summer. I don't think any summer film is going to come close to matching this film. I think it's impossible. You would have to have someone who would have the passion that Tom Cruise and Joseph had while making, and Jerry Bruckheimer had while making this film, to even come close to measuring this film. And I don't think that's going to happen. I just think this is the pinnacle of the summer blockbuster. This is the pinnacle of the film that is a must-see film of all ages. It's not going to be a film that maybe you feel you're too old to see, because clearly it's going to bring in an older crowd. It's not going to be a film that maybe the younger folks don't want to go see, because, you know, it's Top Gun. They may not remember it. I think everybody across the board in all audiences, down to kids, can get hooked on watching Top Gun, and I think they definitely will. This has been another JVS movie review. Peace, people.